Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Is my code. In our last video, we looked into how to set up Angular CLI using Node.js and how to set up .NET Core using Visual Studio 2019. We also looked into how to run the default application which is created in the Visual Studio using Angular. Now in this video we are going to learn how to create the first page of our application, the login page, and subsequently we'll also learn how our Angular interacts with our core API and our core API interacts with our database. So meaning we'll fetch the data, the username and password. We'll validate these two fields from our table inside our SQL Server database. Uh, the core API will fetch the data from a database, and the Angular will fetch the data from core API. So we'll look through all these things. This is the login page, as you can see on your screen. This I have created here. Basic validations of the login page is already covered here. So if I don't enter anything and I click on login, so it will give me a validation alert message of please enter the required values. If I on login, it will validate against the values in the table inside our database, and then it will fetch the result as a not a valid user. If I enter something which is valid, say the valid user ID and the password, and press on login, it will give the alert message of successfully logged in. So all these validations, this is a very basic validation. You can customize the login page as per your need. Just for the sake of the example, I have created this. So all these validations, we are fetching the data from the database. So let's start. First, we'll be creating the HTML for the page, and then we'll be creating the backend code using the core API and database. So I hope you guys have a SQL Server database or dummy database. If you don't have, please comment in this video. I will give you the MDF file for a dummy database for just for the learning purpose. So let's start. So I have already created a sample application by the name of Ease My Code. Till here we did everything in our last video. This application was created. If you haven't watched the last video and if you want to set up Angular CLI and .NET Core, you can go back to the playlist on my channel, and you can view the last video on the setup, the Angular Learn Angular 9 and .NET Core setup. Okay, so before we start, let me also go through how the workflow of the Angular application happens. Okay, I told you in our last video that the client tab contains everything related to Angular CLI, but let's also go through the workflow of the Angular application. Now, whenever we run the application, the first thing that is hit uh, in our Angular application is the index.html file. Now you can find the index.html file here inside the source folder. Okay, let me open the index.html file. Okay, so this is the title of the application. These are the meta links, the style sheet and everything. If you are using, it will be reflected here. And then in the body tag, if you see, there is a selector called as app root. So our UI, whatever pages we are going to create, they will all fall under this app root selector. Now where is this app root located? For this you need to go to app.component.ts, which is located under app folder. So you go to app.component.ts. in this uh, in this app.component.ts, ts is the TypeScript file. So if you see here, at the rate component, the selector value is given, which is the app root. This is what is written in the inside the index.html. So Again, if you see the template URL, this means that the selector is AppRoot and its template which it is going to load is the app.component.html. So as soon as the request comes to index.html, it goes to AppRoot, and then from here it goes to app.component.html. Go to app.component.html. Here again you will see a selector of app navigation menu. So this is the navigation menu at the top of your application which you see in your default application if you have run it. So there is an option of home, counter and fetch data. So this is the selector for that particular menu. And then we have the router outlet. This again it contains all the UI or the component that we are going to create that will get reflected under this router outlet. So you can see app navigation menu. If you go to navigation menu page, this is the component, and if you open the ts file of this, you will see the selector name as app navigation menu. So this is how the control works. Since we are going to create a new application, we don't need all these, so we are going to simply delete these components. So let's go and delete the all four components that are not required now. So let me delete them. Since you have deleted the navigation menu component also, so you need to delete its reference in the app.component.html because the tag is referenced here. You need to delete this. Save the file. Also, since you have deleted the component, you need to go to app.module.ts file. App.module.ts is uh, the main file of your application where all your components are referenced, like all the imports and everything they are referenced here. You are seeing this error messages because we haven't built the application yet. We'll build it after this. So these error messages will be removed. So let me remove these four components. As soon as you create a component, they get reflected in app.module.ts automatically. You don't have to add anything here. So just remove these. You need to remove these components from the declarations also. Okay, just remove this. Save the file. You need to remove the component from the router module also. So let me remove this also. Now let's build the application. The application is going to build for the first time, so it will take some time. So let us build the application. Okay, so the build is successful. So let's create our login page. For that we need to create the login component. So we'll be creating the login component through the Node.js command prompt. For that we will be writing a command, and then the component will be created automatically inside the app folder. So let's open the Node.js command prompt. Go to search, type Node.js. You will see Node.js command prompt. Click on it. You need to make sure that you are adding the component in the right folder. So for that, open any page. Suppose app.module.ts. Go to open file, open containing folder, and copy the folder location till client app, because we need to create the component inside the client app. Client app has all the components related to Angular. So we need to copy this file location, go back to Node.js command prompt, type cd, and paste the folder location. Now here you need to write the correct command for creating the component. For that you need to write ng gc and then type the name of your component, say login, and then space hyphen hyphen module space app and press enter. This is the command for creating the components inside your Angular CLI. So when you press enter, it will take a minute or so for creating the component. Just to wait for that. Okay, so your component is created. If you go back to your application, you will see inside your app folder. Inside your app folder, you will have a login component created. Now, whenever a component is created, there are four files which are created by default. One is the CSS for all your style sheets. One is the HTML where you will write the HTML code. One is the specification for your TypeScript file. You don't actually uh, write anything here. Uh, and then we have the component.ts, which is the main file, your TypeScript file, where you write the actual code of your Angular logic. So four files are created now. So let's add our HTML content and the CSS so that our page is ready. So but before that, before adding the HTML content, we need to make sure that our component is correctly reflected in our app.module.ts. So go to app.module.ts inside app folder. Here, as I told you that once you create a component, it is automatically reflected in the import section, and also it is automatically reflected in the declarations. Okay, but we need to also make sure that our login page is the home page of our application, the default page. For that, we need to write the path. For that, in router module dot for root, you need to write the you need to write this code. Path colon space comma component colon login component. Okay, when you mention path as a blank, so that particular component becomes the home page of the application. So that is why for the login component we have added the path as blank. Then let me add the HTML for the login page. So we will remove the by default the HTML what is reflected here, and then let me copy the HTML from my already working application. And not let me also add the CSS. So open the login component.css file and let me copy the CSS from my existing application. Copy. Now the HTML for your page is ready. If you run the application, you will see the login page as required. So you can click on IS Express here and your application will run. Let's click on it. Okay, so your application loads successfully. Your HTML is ready for the login page. Okay, so let me explain what we add in our HTML so that we are able to call the .NET Core API methods. Uh, okay, and before that we also see that here at this URL there is a port number which is 57494. You must be wondering where we we can see this and how it is reflected here. So for that you need to go to launch settings, go to solution explorer. Okay, inside this properties you will see launch settings.json file. Okay, when you open the file, you will see these settings. Since we are running our application from IIS Express using IIS Express, so if you go to IIS settings, you will see here localhost 57494, which is the port number which is getting reflected. If you change the application URL here, so whatever application URL you want to provide here, that will be reflected on your browser. Okay, so this in this ease my code, if you see the project level settings, if you run your application through command prompt, node.js command prompt, uh, then this local host with the port number of 5000 will be generated. Okay, but we are running our application through Visual Studio itself, so we basically deal with this application URL. You can customize the URL as per your need. So let's go to the login dot component.html. So this is a simple HTML form, nothing tricky about it. If you see here in our input type, we have taken as text and password and then a submit button. If you see here, there is one attribute which is of ng model, which is related to our Angular application. So we bind our model or the variables to this ng model attribute. So we have binded the username to the username password username attribute, ng model attribute, and the password to the password ng model attribute. These two will be using as an input parameter to the login submit method, which we are going to call and which we will be writing in our TypeScript file. And through that TypeScript file we will calling the .NET Core API, and then through .NET Core API we will be calling the database. So this is the way how the flow will work, and this is the way how the flow works in Angular. Okay, so let me write the TypeScript code as well. So this is the click event. We will be calling the login submit and we will pass the username and password whatever the user has entered. So for that you need to open the login.component.ts file. Okay, here you can write the login submit method. Let me copy the code from my previous application to save time. Okay, so I have copied the code. Let me explain how the code works. So here in a constructor, if you will see, I have passed the HTTP client as a input parameter, and also as the base URL. Base URL is the application URL which I have shown earlier in the launch settings, and this automatically gets reflected in this particular variable whenever you run your code. So you are seeing the compile time error. In order to remove it, because the compile time error is coming because there is no reference of HTTP client on our page. So in order to add it, say control and dot, it will give you the suggestions to add the reference. Add this. Similarly for inject. Okay, so the login submit method is written here. There is another error which is getting reflected here. This is because we haven't created the class which we are going to pass to the get user details method of our uh, home controller of our web API. Okay, so let me add the class here. Export class login. In here we need only two variables, so let me add a username which is of type string, and let me add password which is again of type string. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this login is the variable of our class which references our another class login. So what we'll do here, we'll define the variable here, say login of type login. Let's create the object also here only. So new login. Okay, so this particular variable will reference this export class login. Okay. So coming back to our login submit method. So if you see here the username and password which was passed from our HTML page, we'll use that to check our validations. So I've just added a simple validation of if the user has not entered anything, then it shows the alert message. Otherwise, it goes to the get user details method of our home controller. Okay. So this particular section is how we call the our API, our core API. This is since we are passing the login parameters, the username and password to our get user details method. So we'll be using http.post method here. If we are fetching something from the core API, then we'll be using http.get method. So this is the difference here. This dot base URL is nothing but your application URL in the launch settings that I've shown, and then it appends the API. API reflects your core API. This home reflects your home controller, which I will be creating inside our API, and then get user details reflects the method inside the home controller. So this is the way how our Angular interacts with the Angular .NET Core API and uses it to fetch the result. So whatever result is written by the core API is stored in this result variable, which is of type any, which is defined here. So whatever type you define here, the result will be of that type. Okay, so we will be returning the JSON string from the core API. So we'll pass that JSON string using JSON dot parse, and then we'll check the result, and we'll subsequently display the alert messages. This is the basic flow. We'll be creating the core API and the interaction of the core API with the database and fetching the details from the database and back to the Angular CLI in our next video. So stay tuned for that. I will be posting that video either end of day today or maybe tomorrow maximum. So just stay tuned. Till then, if you have any questions related to this particular video, if you have any questions or if you are facing some issues or any type of error while setting up the application or Angular CLI and or by while running the application, just comment your queries in the comment box. I will answer them as soon as possible. So thank you for watching. If you haven't liked or subscribed to my channel, please do like and subscribe. We'll complete this tutorial of fetching the data and everything in the next video, and then we'll move on with the other pages. Okay, so thank you so much.